Join in, newcomer. Praise the sea with us.
There's something in the pocket. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
No.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
My condolences, Mr. Throgmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
Your condolences will not bring him back. So much of our blood spilt for nothing. So much effort in vain. My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look in my eyes, make him beg for mercy.
I don't know exactly. I have some suspects, but I need to investigate further.
What kind of private eye are you?
A thorough one. When I find him, I'll tell you.
Fine. No one leaves the port until then. Find me that dirtbag and I'll help you with anything you need.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something,
What? I don't have all day.
some unusual creatures, and they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Bye.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer.
I've said everything I know.
Keep your hands where I can see them.
Where's your Oberon, huh, Titania? Something with this.
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
Got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
You look familiar, but old Billy hasn't seen you around.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Come closer, troubled soul. Let me tell you what your future holds.
You're some kind of, fortune teller?
Yes, my dear, yes. Oh, it's so clear. Your path holds many surprises, newcomer.
Really? Like what?
Not so fast, newcomer. I see many...
Alright, how much?
Your money has no value here, newcomer, and I'll make it easier for you.
Let's hear what...
Good. The sea will be generous in the coming days. Many gifts delivered, and many will regret partaking.
I don't think I follow.
I see old and new, a hard heart against an iron will, and tall pillars circled by the dead. A race from one to the next, as time itself laughs.
I think I'd...
It is what it is. The truth will out soon. Me, I just caught an early glimpse.
Why do I feel like I got scammed?
Embrace your fate.
Hey, knock it off!
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
Robert Throgmorton hired me to investigate his son's disappearance. I found the note about your debt to Lewis near his cold, dead body. And it looks like Lewis murdered Robert's kid. You want him to come here and ask instead of me?
What?
Don't what me. At best, you're harboring a criminal. At worst, you're an accessory to murder.
What? No. I ain't done nothing.
Tell that to Mr. Throgmorton.
No.
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day. I've seen some unsettling
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea, Others that they are K's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, remember, better to be a coward and live.
Bye.
What the? Get the... Oh.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woken in...
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though I suspected as...
What kind of...
Oh, so you're here to attack me just because I look different to you? Want to spit on me, whisper to your friends? What's new?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't know how to ask. I've just never met someone like you before. Any offense.
Innsmouther's bodies were blessed by the sea. You're gonna see a lot of us here.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons.
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
You mentioned a grand family.
So you're a newcomer, huh?
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos, there's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right. Those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest. Mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
It turns out I arrived here unprepared for business. You give me a little something to get started, and my lips are sealed.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are, Mr. Reed. Please, I told you the truth, I swear.
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. They tore him apart. It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. Just ask his friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Okay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture. A sleeping giant, drowned...
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
Has your expedition...
I do not know. Albert was.
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
If I'm going to look into this...
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and... Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. I gave you clear instructions. Did I not?
I've said everything I know.
Don't do anything stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see.
The door won't budge. Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brother. Never again, they say. No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions of... Makes this place feel more like home. I miss Boston already. The door won't budge.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here, you stop making all that noise.
Sorry, but who are you again?
You bang your head or something? I'm Victor Olmsted. I own the place. This place. The Devil's Reef Hotel.
Noise?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say. Don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away with everything.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you... I'm watching you, newcomer. Almighty will punish the wretched. I send it, terrorist.
Please help a fella out. I'll take anything you got. help a fella out. I'll take anything you got.
Hello, officer.
Well, look who finally decided to show up. If it ain't Charles Reed, the genius that cracked the case of Albert Throgmorton. Captain Caleb Lyons at your service. What can we simpletons do to assist you, Mr. Holmes?
Do you and I have a problem, officer?
No. Aside from making everyone in the Oakmont police, let me be frank, newcomer. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal here.
Okay. Well, can I use the police archive in the meantime?
You can, but only because of Mr. Throgmorton's patronage. And heed me well. Don't waste my time, newcomer.
mortician has touched him up well. The door won't budge.
I'm not in the mood for chit-chat, Mr. Reed. I'm not in the mood for chit-chat, Mr. Reed.
Guess I don't need the key. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Someone smashed it beyond repair. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? These samples glitter. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. Guess this helmet.
Grab the papers, smash the rest.
time to pick it. Stand back. I fatah me fe I regach I dagon.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Time to figure this out.
I fatah me fe I regach I dagon.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest.
We don't have time to pick it. Stand back. We don't have time to pick it. Stand back.
Grab the papers. Smash the rest.
I fatah me fe.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition?
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland. Do you still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a private eye in Boston. The situation in the port was a good use of my skills.
Well, Detective Reed, I think you'll find our city has a lot of secrets, but people may not like you poking your nose in. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you to Oakmont?
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and
Yes, it affected people here, but we were much more concerned with the flu.
Yeah, and then hired me to find it.
I think that's enough for now. I can't give the readers...
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do something interesting enough to make the papers again.